Welcome back, guys. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, like this video. Is a Zoe podcast. Now, Prophet Uebert Angel addresses Zimbabwe and then his ambassadorial duties and everything that has been going on in this interview. And let's go get it. Let's go get it.
There is a reason why President Mnangagwa would have looked at all the other prophets.
And he has said, I think the biggest problem you just did right there was to say prophets. This is the biggest problem in Zimbabwe, per se. Maybe, let's say Africa. Imams are allowed to have oil rigs. Imams are allowed to have tall buildings and commercial buildings and all these investment portfolios that are huge. And nobody says, you are an imam, you are this, you are an imam. It seems as if the moment somebody becomes a pastor, a prophet, an apostle, a teacher, an evangelist, there's a problem. You should not be anything else except that.
The question
so
has
when you
not
ask me,
presupposed.
No, you just said
The question
of
is
all
not
the,
presupposed
you just
the
said
problem.
of all the prophets, right? That was the problem. You just said of all the prophets.
Okay.
If I ask you,
it is a bit of an obvious question. There are many prophets in Zimbabwe.
Of all the journalists, why you? I should ask you, are a Zimbabwean.
Exactly.
That's the number one. You are a Zimbabwean.
It's still a legitimate question.
It's not a legitimate question.
Okay. Let me rephrase this.
Okay,
no one has suggested it's a problem you've been...
You just said prophet.
Okay, let me ask the question. No one has suggested that it's a problem you've been appointed ambassador at large.
No.
The question
you
is,
haven't, but some have.
Okay, right. I am not those some.
Yeah.
I am me.
Yeah.
I'm asking on behalf of the people who are watching why President Emmerson Mnangagwa decided that Prophet Uebert Angel is the best person to be appointed ambassador at large.
I think this is, like you said, there is a backstory to it. If you look at what the president actually said, he mentioned all the rigorous training I had to go through. But before that, we have years of this, right?
Okay.
Where he mentioned about SB Moyo, how he was involved in choosing me. All these things that you see, you only saw maybe last year, this year, right, in March. But this is not this year. It was 2 years ago when this happened. You saw it now. The manifestation happened this year, but it is 2 years in the making.
Okay.
That's what you see. You see that. But reality is, if you look on my business, to my business portfolio, you have been around me for a long time. Even 8 years from, I think we are 8 years. You know for a fact what we do as a company. You know for a fact my contacts. You know for a fact the vast number of actually the investors I know, the companies I know, the people, the business people I know, the millionaires and the billionaires that I know. I have a large portfolio with that deals with all this investment. I invest in other countries, but the reality is what people know is what they focus on. They focus on, you are known as a prophet. Guess what? Why did he choose you? Because they don't know the other backstory.
But some legitimate questions arise from situations
all right,
like this.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe is headed for elections in 2023.
Yeah.
So here's the president headhunting a prominent prophet. Let me ask the question. Here's the president headhunting a prominent prophet who leads a very large church with branches across the world. People are going to think politically that he is angling to get supporters from your church. So
when things like this happen, there's always going to be political cannibalism.
Okay.
Someone says this, someone says that, someone backbites, someone says nonsense, and that happens. But the reality is, I'm not the pastor or the bishop or rather a prophet or a clergyman with the largest number of people in Zimbabwe. If the president wanted to choose a prophet based on what you're saying right now, he'd have chosen another guy that is locally strong when it comes. My congregants are around the world, and we call ourselves a coat of many colors. In other words, we have, if you go, let's say, for example, you go to London, you have we have a church of 2,500 people, right?
Okay.
And Sunday attendance is 1,200, 1,300. Out of that, we have 37 Zimbabweans. That would be a bad choice if he's looking for votes. You're talking about, that's the diaspora. You've got a lot of people. I've got churches in the diaspora. We're talking about 257 branches. But most of those congregants are not from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So if it was the choice of the president to look for somebody for political reasons, that was a bad choice.
Okay.
And that man is not making bad choices.
Are you taking a bit of a risk, though, given how polarized Zimbabwe is? The country is heavily divided. You are either ZANU-PF or you are MDC. So in a very polarized society like Zimbabwe, is it a risk for a person like you to accept this appointment and be seen to be aligned to the ruling party?
Okay, let me just say this. I think that question says a lot about our society.
Okay.
Because I know you, so I would not want to say it says a lot about you, because I know you. But it says a lot about our country, where somebody should be restricted to one political party. The moment we do that, we are no longer democratic. Whether we are in the opposition party, and we're saying, you guys in the ruling party are wrong. You should only do this and do this and do this. Support me if I'm. That's exactly what the ruling party would be saying. Support us if you are right. And the opposition party says, if you are the right person, you support us. That's dangerous. In the Western world, it's not like that. People are allowed to support whosoever they like. And I'm not running no risk. I'm not thinking of any risk. There's no risk here. I'm here to help people. Remember, I'm a philanthropist. All right? I've helped a lot of people. We have just done a 1 million, a pledge, and we actually went over that pledge. We really did it. I'm talking about we walk the talk. Now, next year, January, we are starting another one. Now,
the question is a fair one.
I never argued with your question. I'm saying, do you have property in Zimbabwe?
Yes, I do.
You have problems with property rights? I'm just asking you. No. Let's deal with your experience. Come on. Let's deal with your experience. Let's deal with your experience. Because, listen to me. You can never know what a person does with their company. If I go there and get involved in all this money laundering and all this movement of things, there is nobody who's going to come and tell you.
The answer is simple. I've been a journalist for 23 years. I've covered issues where companies...
I've been a business for the same... I've been a businessman for the same time.
Investors who own a company and then wake up one day and the government says 51% local ownership. Companies are great.
Is it not happening?
That has happened.
Is it not happening in Africa right now?
Exactly. So
is it not happening in Africa?
This is what I'm
saying. Not the government trying to actually help you?
Okay.
The black people get ownership of something. Is it not so?
Are you saying though, when you wake up and you just change the laws and you take people's companies, that it's not a problem?
When did it change? Tell me.
No, I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying
that rule. When was it given?
A few years ago.
No. Tell me the few years.
A few years ago under President Mugabe.
That's what I've been telling you.
The hope was when President Mnangagwa comes in place.
Oh, a lot has changed. Trust me. Trust me. It has changed a lot. Okay. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. If you go through the route that we're using right now, right? If you talk to a person about investment, you talk to Zid about investment, talk to me about investment, and there's a way.
Okay. Let me share my suspicions. Yeah. This is my suspicion. I could be wrong. I could be right.
You're very wrong.
I think probably the president looked at the setup, ZIDA, Zimbabwe Investment and Development. Yeah. He looked at the setup, Ministry of Finance, too much bureaucracy. Over the years, there have been reports, people are asking for kickbacks from investors. And he decides, let's cut through the red tape. Let me appoint Prophet Angel, ambassador at large, to get rid of this
ZIDA.
Not to get rid of ZIDA, but to cut through the red tape. So we have you as a result of everything that I've just listed. So
number one,
what do you make of those suspicions? Are they founded?
Number one, I would say if somebody wants to cut through the red tape, that's very welcome.
Okay,
right?
And you're the man for it.
No. Let me just say this. All right, ZIDA is really doing a great job. Okay. All right. We're talking about, if you look at the promulgation of the ZIDA Act, it is really a clear, comprehensive way, binding legal, comprehensive way. It's actually showing you how investments come in, how they are monitored, how investors are helped to actually bring the investment into the country, and how those investments are protected. That body is good.
Right.
Let me say this. To who?
To the president.
I'm not the advisor of the president. I think we're getting this confused. I'm not the president's advisor. I'm an ambassador at large, responsible for investment. When the president wants to hear from me or he asks me a question as my principal, he is free to do so, and I can say whatever I feel I need to say to him. Okay. If I feel there is something that I feel
that needs to be said,
I will say it. Okay. It doesn't mean to say he's going to take my advice or he's going to take and it's not even advice. If he says he wants to hear what I think, I will say what I think.
Okay.
And if I feel like I want to say what I think, I can say, President, there's this issue here that's happening here and there. And he can clear it. So no, that's not what is happening. What is happening here is or whatever that is. But I'm not his advisor.
I'm intrigued by the rebranding of the church. The name Spirit Embassy, that's I kind of liked it. It was very nice. And then you added the Good News Church. Why the transition? Why not keep it Spirit Embassy?
That's the other thing that I've said so many times, that if a lie is told too many times, it becomes journalism.
Okay. So the lie here is that you didn't drop Spirit Embassy.
No, I did not. There's no dropping. Spirit Embassy is the name of the church.
Okay.
But what is the message it preaches? It preaches what is called the good news. All right? Okay. The Bible says the good news of Jesus Christ, of the good news of the grace of Christ. In other words, we're talking about the core message of what is called Spirit Embassy is good news.
Okay.
This church, what type of church is Spirit Embassy? The good news church.
Okay.
But of course, I've heard so many times he changed Spirit Embassy and now he's good news. And I just look at people and go like,
I'm intrigued. How are you able to be this silly and still be able to
How
do you respond to criticism in general? Like when people take pot shots at you, criticize you, say things about you, how do you respond?
I think, like I said 8 years ago, I believe I did that. I budgeted for acrimony way before I got this call. I budgeted for acrimony. I knew people hate success. They don't just hate preachers, they hate success. There are a lot of preachers in the world there who are not successful, who are not facing the persecution I receive. So I budgeted for acrimony. I know this. If you get to some level in your life, somebody's going to oppose you. So it's okay.
Is that because 90% of the population is going through grueling poverty and they see this successful, well-dressed, Ferrari-driving prophet?
Well, I actually don't drive a Ferrari. My wife does.
Okay. But when people see that, do you think that is the reason?
No, because before the Ferrari, they opposed me. No, before the Ferrari, they opposed me.
Okay.
Before the Lamborghini, they opposed me. Before the mansions, they opposed me. Before the companies, they opposed me. All right? The moment somebody gains a little bit of an acre, 2 miles, 2 square miles, you just rub people the wrong way, no matter what you do. And when you have an opinion, it's a very tricky thing because opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone has got his own.
Opinions are like bread and butter. Everybody has got his own. And then at the very tail of the whole conversation that I got, accumulated, he said something just a few seconds ago. He said, the man asked him, a prophet who drives Ferrari or something like that. And he said, I don't drive Ferrari, my wife does. He's trying to tell you the level of wealth that he possesses. And that is wisdom, okay? That is so powerful, a way of answering questions. You get me? He's trying to hit him at the target, all right? You are going to, journalists are fond of that. You get what I mean? They have some line of questions that are like attacking questions. So Prophet is also there. He also wants to answer in an attacking way. You get what I mean? Oh, yes, I don't drive a Ferrari. My wife does. Yeah, I accept I'm rich. I'm not going to fumble and be like, oh, fake news is going to go out there, or this news is going to go out there. Information is going to spread out there. People will attack and people will say, I'm rich. That is what it is. That's my identity now. I can't hide from my identity. That's my real identity. You get what I mean? So let's take it from the top. Now, why you were chosen as prophets, why you were chosen as an ambassador? Why are you a prophet and you're still an ambassador? And this is one thing that I think people are missing out. And the moment you put yourself in this position of asking these questions, then there is a question mark. Because this is how I feel or I think about it. So far as the prophet has the qualification that gives him the room and capacity to operate in that role he's supposed to operate. You get what I mean? You see, the problem with Christians and a lot of people out there is they think religious leaders are not deserving enough to be rich, to own supercars, to own mansions, to own houses, okay? Or to be in good positions. In fact, let me put my words right. To be in, how do you call it? political positions or occupy political offices. And with me, if you ask me, I think that is like you being an idiot. Trust me on this one. Because Prophet the Angel has his degree and even his master's in finance. You get me? He's very intelligent, he's very learned, not just about the Bible or ministrations or how to manage a church and all that. And in fact, to be an ambassador, he is able to even manage a church. His church, he's able to manage numerous people. So that even tells you that he is having a managerial ability. And being an ambassador means you are taking care of numbers. You have occupied that position where people will come to you with challenges here and there, and then you have to manage them. So, what is false about him being a manager or he being an ambassador? And then the problem is, let's talk about the Muslims or Islamic leaders. Nobody cares about if you go to Dubai, the skyscrapers and everything you see there are owned by, most of them are owned by these people, Muslims, imams, and all that, and anywhere around. But let's say a pastor or a religious leader possess any of that possession, people will come and attack. What is wrong? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. So let me just jump and do this fast. One thing that I picked from the conversation is that the interviewer, the man was trying to say that the president of Zimbabwe, I can't even mention the name, right? Pick Uebert Angel as ambassador because he's having numbers. That is, he's having a lot of following. So, calculatively, with regards to politics, the president could tap into those numbers with respect to elections. So, that is to say, I've made you an ambassador. You can convince your church members to vote for me whenever it's election time. You get what I mean? But it's not like that. And that's what the prophet said. Look, you see, when you go to London, I'm a Zimbabwean. I'm the ambassador. If that is what you think as an interviewer or as a journalist, and that's what you think people think, let me tell you something. When you go to London, I mean, the highest population of people that should be in the church, with regards to region, should come from Zimbabwe. But out of, on average of 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 attendees on every Sunday service, it's only 37 persons, individuals that come from Zimbabwe. So running the numbers, it means that worldwide, people who follow Prophet Uebert Angel, huge amount of them, or the highest number of them, are not even coming from Zimbabwe. So what's the catch here? What is the take here? It means that's a fallacy. You know what I mean? The influence that Prophet Uebert Angel is having internationally is so much huge than just Zimbabwe. Now let me move to the next thing. So he is clearing the air, Prophet Uebert Angel, about his ambassadorial duties. He said he is an ambassador at large. And his job or his responsibility is to take care of investments. So it is not so shocking when we saw him in the tapes that Al Jazeera put out that he is a fraud and all that, because that is his job. That is his responsibility. He's supposed to be going about the businesses of the country, and that's what he's doing. An ambassador at large. Now, notice this. He is a degree holder, a master's degree holder in finance. What are you talking about? It means he is well endowed with finance and business. If you are looking for the best person to handle such an office to, is somebody who has handled a lot of businesses. And the prophet has done that. Now, you Zimbabweans and all these people, you want to handle this political office to somebody who is not even having the experience. That is it of black people. Somebody that is incompetent, somebody that will be fraud, somebody that will steal your money, somebody that will do you bad. But if the prophet has qualified and he's able to occupy that office, he said, nah, he's a prophet. Nah, he's a pastor. Nah, he's a religious leader. He's not supposed to be occupying this space. Meanwhile, these other people have done you bad, have robbed you of your possessions. It's funny though. So the man asked him another question, that why he changed his church's name from Spirit Embassy to Good News Church. Why have you rebranded prophet? It's not about rebranding, the prophet said. The church name is still Spirit Embassy. Myself, I like the fact that the church name is Spirit Embassy. It's just nice. And what message do we preach? Good news. I mean, it is always like that, okay? It is always like that. Once a soldier, always a soldier, but you get to a pedestal and then your rank changes. But does it mean you have changed from being a soldier? You are still a soldier. We are still Spirit Embassy. But just at this level that we've gotten to, we are preaching the good news. We are propagating the good news, and that is what it is. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is the prophet said, people hate success. It is not even about hating somebody who is a prophet or a pastor or something like that. It's just that because when you juxtapose the whole conversation about hate with people of higher ranking, it is not, let's say, pastors and spiritual leaders. It's not just the fact that he's able to prophesy, he's a pastor. No, it's because he's a pastor or a prophet, and then he's still successful. Because there are a lot of pastors and prophets in some bushes, in some villages that nobody has heard of them. So nobody's insulting, nobody's attacking because they are not successful yet. But just so you know, let them be successful today, and you see the attack that will go into their direction. People hate success. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Jordan Nixon. I break down gospel videos like this to everybody to understand. And I think this video has come for a long time. I just chanced upon it, and I think I have to address a few things. The man of God has addressed a lot of things in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm out.